Hi guys, it's Chief here today, and we are going to do a relatively short review of the T54. There's a lot of gameplay, and I don't want to do too long of a review. Um, I started this game at beta, and back then there was not that many medium tanks. I don't really remember. I mean, the American used to have a T. I think it's called a T32, which is like the bigger version of the T20. Which it's similar to Persian, but not really. It was an experimental tank, and it wasn't that great. And you had German. I think German had the. I forgot it was Panther 2 or E50. I can't quite remember, but nobody really used them. Clan Wars, you saw Mouse, you saw T30s, which back then was the American Tier 10. You saw the IS-7, and you saw T54s. And if you ever were in the pub match and you saw a T54, it didn't matter what tank you were in. You turn around and ran the other way. Not the case anymore. Uh, Tier 8 tanks, there's a lot that can compare to a T54 now. Um, the E50 is definitely a good tank. Leopard PT, even though it has no armor, it has an amazing gun. American Patton is great. Yeah, autoloader. Not even gonna compare. Um, Even British. I mean, Centurion 7-1 is a amazing tier 9 tank. French has autoloader. Lorraine 40T is good. I have played only a few games on a test server. It's not a perfect tank. It has its own problems. Chinese, of course, is a copy of the T54. However, the gun is much better. A lot more pen. It's about the same accuracy and very bad aiming time, but huge alpha damage. Very slow reload, but it's good enough. And this is WZ-120 is roughly a copy of T-54. Very similar armor. There's less hull armor, but very similar armor value. Very similar traverse speed. Again, a smaller engine, but top speed is again similar. The good thing about T-54 is big engine, good weight horsepower to weight ratio. It accelerates much faster, even though it has a bit of a problem slowing down sometimes. Armor is a little bit better. If you're used to Type 59, if you're lucky enough to have one, or if you have a T34-3, Type 59 plays just like a T54, almost the same way. But the speed increase, the horsepower to weight, the amount of speed you get out of T54, you'll love it. The armor itself, though, the way you really can play this tank, the whole armor is it's a non-factor because you literally will stuff this tank face to face, point blank into other tanks, where they will see nothing but pieces and parts of the metal on. If they zoom in, they will see nothing but like the pieces of the turret, which unless they're good enough to tell which part it is, they won't be able to pen you. Pure and simple. If they somehow can manage to get their gun onto your cupola, those two spots are the only spot they will be able to pen, and if they're lucky enough to find it. Now this slit right here and this slit is also a weak spot, but again, if your face if you face plant it into a heavy, or especially the side of a heavy tank, which is where I like to be, and this tank is so low to the ground that they'll never bring their gun low enough to hit the body. All they're gonna see is up here, and you're never gonna pen. I don't care how big of a gun you have. So yeah, I like this tank. I really like this tank. How does it perform in gameplay? Well, before we go that far, the only drawback of this tank is the gun. It has, well, there's two guns. They're both tier 9 because T62 has a much better gun. They both don't have very good pin. One have more accuracy and better aiming time, but less pin. I use this one. One has more pen, and even though it's a little bit slower, the more pen helps. There's no aiming time. I mean, well, there is. There isn't any aiming time. There isn't any accuracy if you're point blank and put your tank into other people's faces. That's not a factor. That's not a factor. This, however, is. But I'll take the 18 more pen over a little bit of a faster firing rate. So again, the weakness of the tank can be overcome by your gameplay easily in this tank. The speed, the amazing maneuverability, and the relatively fast firing gun. It's not that fast, it's good. It's a good 100 mil. Okay, and alpha damage isn't too bad. It's a tier 9 medium. Most tier 9 medium have 100s. So, let's watch some gameplay. Okay, now I have 3 gameplay today, and well, none of which is very long because I didn't live long enough. But well, it tells you how you can use this tank to your advantage and help your team in a really, really good way. And in this map, usually I either, if I was playing heavy or tank destroyer or go down 1-2, if I'm playing a heavy tank that's has some good speed, or I'm playing like a fast medium, I always go up the hill. Now you can see that I'm teamed up with 2 clanmates, and one is in their T54, one is in the Chinese copy WZ120. Now this is gonna more trying to explain to you how or what you should do to help your team, I guess. Oh, I kind of got spinned a little bit. And it's not really about the gun, it's not really about the tank. This is about how you can use this tank in a losing battle, in a way. So you can see there's a lot of tank up here, almost a lemon train. Sorta is, but again, I have lots and lots of tank behind me. There's a whole bunch of tank in front of me, and what is the best thing to do in this case? So let me speed up a little bit, just a little bit. Okay. Now, as you can see, 1-2 line is not that hard to hold as long as the enemy knows there's tank there. Generally, they don't like to go there. And right away, we lost the RS7, which I don't remember if he's a very good player or not. But again, there's a whole bunch of tank on one side of the ridge, and there's a whole bunch of tank on the other side of the ridge. My 2 teammates decided that they were gonna back off. So now I'm gonna pause. There's a whole bunch of tank in front of me, enemy tanks, and there's a whole bunch of our tanks behind me. If I leave this spot, all of the enemy tanks are going to disappear from the view range of my teammates, and there are enough here that can overwhelm them. If I put myself here, I will keep them spotted. They won't come up the hill. At least they'll think twice. And people will still give T54 a lot of respect when they're facing it. They don't want to fight them, at least not head on, unless they have friends with them. So I have my teammates behind me shooting these tanks in front of me, and I'm putting myself in the front as a spotting position in a way, so that they won't come up, and they know I'm here, so they don't really want to fight me close range, and they know that there's lots and lots of friends behind me. However, my teammate decided that they are going to try and flank. Now, here's the problem with the tank, and it has a little bit of gun depression, not a lot. And in fights like this, it's very hard to put rounds downrange to enemies that, if you don't have gun depression, they're under a hill. and you just can't bear your gun down far enough. Now I'm waiting for a opportunity to shoot them, but again, watching them being distracted and them coming over the hill, having all of my friends behind me, and unfortunately my team's not very good at penning those tanks that are coming up. I can keep them lit up. I can constantly keep them lit up, and if I can find the opportunity to go for it, maybe my team will come help me. And that's a really big maybe. And looks like our teammate is not doing so well. E5 came up the hill. So obviously I have to take care of him because he's the most obvious threat. And yeah. Oh, we'll take care of him, but at the same time we took a couple of shots. Now, look, as soon as I came back, they all backed off. Okay, nobody likes to fight T-54s, and in a lot of way, you should and can put that in use all the time. Knowing that the enemy would not fight you unless you choose to fight them gives you a huge advantage over everything. Now I know my teammates distracting them, but they could easily overrun me. One, they don't know how many friends I have behind me, and two, oh, how did I not pin the side of his turret? But again, by keeping them here, I'm buying my team time and helping them secure this position, and I'm holding all of these enemy tanks hostage in a sense that they can't go do anything unless they come kill me, and they don't really want to do that. And there's already behind me, but for some reason I already never fired on these tanks. And of course IS-7 don't really have the gun depression to fight me either. And here's the frontal armor. It's so sloped, it's just really hard to hit. And as you can see now, my friend, every time they present themselves up the hill, they get shot at by people behind me. So in a sense, they don't want to deal with me, they don't want to deal with anybody behind me. So I'm holding a lot of tanks here, even though there's really not that many people behind me now. Everybody left. And yeah, but already still not firing. Oh, if that's an RD shot, that's a horrible RD shot. And of course, I'm about to die here. But for the purpose of this match, I don't need to go any further. Now, last match I demonstrated how you can hold off a group of enemy with a medium tank, essentially, that has enough firepower that people will respect you. In the next two clips, I want to show you just the raw brute force of the T-54. How you can use it and how you could just brutalize whatever the other team puts in front of you. And yeah, we pretty much decided in this map that we're going to drive across the map and see how many tanks we can kill before we die. It's me and the T-54 and our clan leader in his AMX 1390, which is a good tank, but it's a scout, and the gun on it, it'll pin tier 10, tier 9s, but at least not from the front. It's the BDR's 90mm, but with a 6-round auto-loading clip or drum, whatever you want to call it. But as you can see, we are literally driving across the map. And he shoots me in my track. Yeah. He's also the guy that fell off the bridge in my law video, so we're even. As you can see, we're being shot at already, so let's give ourselves a little bit more cover and put ourselves outside of the view range. of the enemy tanks. Now, you know where they are. They are hiding over that hill right in front of us. We just don't know how many. Oh, there's one, and he missed. Oh, not good. There's a Foch. Okay, tier 9, and he just took out my gunner. Now, here is the brute force of this tank. There, he bounced another shot. I killed a VK. Oh, there's another one behind him. There's a Panther. Now there's a Foch. There's another Panther. Oh, there's a Yak Panther. Okay. Foch dies. Well, the Panther's now fully upgraded. So, killed the Panther. And Yak Panther bounced again. Took a shot there. And Yak Panther kills me. But that was a really, really bad mistake. I should have made a much better turn. But now, that hill just died. 4 tanks against 2. We completely murdered every one of them. Now, last match, that was a bit of a, we got really bored and want to see what our tank can do kind of thing. And 2 against 5, we killed 4, and pretty much, if I didn't make the mistake of making that turn right in front of him, I probably would have gotten another kill. So, essentially, 2 tanks completely brutalized 5. A light tank and a medium tank killed a tier 9 TD, at least 3 tier 7s, and almost killed the other tier 7. Now, in this map, it's a little bit different. Ensk. Even though as much as I like to go in city, I realized all of the RD is going one way and nobody else is going that way. So, should I leave the RD to die or should I go help him? So, obviously, we're going to go back to help him. And, of course, our buddy Spartan here, our designated clan mouse driver, kept forgetting that he's not driving a mouse anymore and keep running into things with T54-E1. Now, and I just drove up a ledge. So right here we have a T54, a Centurion 1 that's not really upgraded, and he's just camping at the cap, and he looks like he has a stock gun or not very good gun. And we have Naru in his M46 Patton, which is, it's a good tank, it's a good tier 9, but armor wise there's not that much armor. Oh, they're engaged in town, and Spartan in a medium that doesn't have a lot of armor is the first tank out because he usually drives a mouse. Oh. Well, let's take our camera out. Now there's 2 tanks here. There's an Indian Panther and there's a T34-1. Okay. So, let's see how we do against them first. Takes a shot to the Indian Panther, and of course, when you're fighting these kind of battles, side scraping is so important, especially in a tank with this kind of armor. Took a shot there, track it. If he's stupid enough to come out, he's gonna get more of that. But oh wait, there's AMX. So now the problem becomes, there's a heavy tank and there's a Yak 88 and just Naru by himself. In this situation, there's a lot of building around, okay? So it's gonna be very, very difficult for the RD to hit any of these tanks. So it's 2 mediums, a heavy, and a tier 8 tank destroyer against 2 medium tanks. Not a very good situation. Okay, so let's go. So I have to kill these tanks as quickly as I can if I want to help out Naru. Now he's fighting really, really well, so I have to go for this Indian Panther no matter what. Hey, bounced a shot there. Very lucky bounce. Well, that's a numpen hit. So I know by my next shot I'm gonna kill this Indian Panther. Now the T-34-1 should have came for me, but he didn't. So that's gonna be his biggest mistake. Now Naru is now completely trapped, and the T-34-1 is dead. Okay. Now these two tanks just blocked off the alley. Now there's two tanks in front of me. So I'm going to use these two tanks to engage the heavy and the TD. And now, where the Yak-88 is sitting, he has a perfect line of sight for the M12 to shoot him. Okay? So yeah, obviously he took a big hit there. And I'm fighting for the heavy tank. And I got to put another shot into Yak-88. He's lucky it was a relatively low roll, so he didn't die. Now, zoom out. I have a problem. AMX decided to go for me, so if I stay at the same spot, I'm gonna get sight shotted. And so now I have to engage this AMX. And if not, he's gonna get sight shot at me, and I'm gonna get engaged by two sides. I'm gonna use these two tanks in this building to block off the Yak-88 and engage the AMX M4. Okay. Now he sees me coming, so he goes back, and oh, the SU-152 is coming. I saw him. I took a shot really stupidly here, but he didn't do any damage. Kills the Yak-88, and uh-oh. Now, it was 2-on-4, and we killed 3 now. Now, it just changed to 2-on-5, and the T-29 is full health. So, and they've pinned me in the middle, so I have a choice to make. Turn around and engage the T-29 and let the AMX shoot me, or engage the AMX and let the T-29 catch up. I'm closer to the AMX M4, and he's on much lower health, and he have no armor, so my gun could pin him a lot more reliably than I can pin the T-29. Even though lower hull of T-29 have no armor, he still have a really, really good turret. So obvious decision is to go for the AMX M4 and get out of the T-29's gun, and he already put a shot into me. And okay, AMX shot me once and put me on 94 health, but I know I can fire twice as fast than he can. My 100mm gun loads a lot quicker than his 90. And again, if I put my tank into him, all he's gonna see is my turret. I'm gonna ram him a couple times to make sure that my next shot kills him. But unfortunately, I made a mistake here. Well, I didn't. Now I'm being kind of pinned again. SU-152 knows I'm here. He obviously saw me. Whether or not he goes for the RD or me, he can kill me no matter where he shoot me. Okay, BL9, BL10, I don't even know what's loaded in his tank. He can kill me with a heat round. I have 80 health. So the only target I can really go for is the T-29, and I'm sure that from his drive all the way across the map, I'm pretty sure he has a loaded round. But I made a pretty big mistake that caused me, well, caused me to die. Now, I went too far out. I was going to track him. I wanted to keep him there. I did the right thing. I took his track out and then put a shot into the T-29. But I pulled just far enough out of the building to give him a shot. I was hoping that I can pop out track him and get back into cover long enough that he wouldn't shoot me. But he got a good shot on me, and he was waiting for me anyway, so he kills me. But look at what we've done. Okay, two tanks against five. Now he lost about a fourth of his health, and the other four died. So again, you can stick this tank into really ridiculous situations and still come out on top. If that T-29 didn't show up, yeah, I would have won. I would have won, and I would have went on to kill that ISU, and maybe helping the city. But unfortunately, he did show up and he did kill me. But I still didn't go down without a fight. I broke its track. Okay, and I think I damaged something in his tank. But anyway, as you guys can see, this is amazing tank. And all of his weakness and all of his downside of this tank can be covered up by just the sheer brute force of. I guess this is how he's supposed to drive Russian tank anyway. They're meant to be mass produced. They're meant to drive across the field in huge numbers and overrun anything in front of them. And this is literally how I drive my T-54. Well, not in huge numbers. I'm just by myself, but I drive my tank into other tanks, and just by the brute force and amazing turret, I can take punishment after punishment after punishment. And as you can see, as many times as I've been shot, one, I haven't been ammo racked, I haven't been set on fire, my engine haven't broke. So this tank definitely can take lots and lots of punishment, and obviously I was shot from every angle. So yeah. I hope you guys like this tank, because I love it. And anyway, if you guys like the replay, I hope you all subscribe to my channel and enjoy your World of Tank games.